welcome to Rough Cut this week. I'm your host, Kaveree Bamzai, and your film critic. As I always say, I watch all the movies so that you don't have to. But this week is a great week at the movies. We've got two wonderful films, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day and Imtiaz Ali's Main Wapas Aunga. Let's start with Main Wapas Aunga. Imtiaz Ali, we know, is a traveler, a romantic, sees beauty everywhere, even in the worst times. And at a time like this, when we're really in the age of darkness, it's such a pleasure to see such an almost perfect work of art from him. Main Wapas Aunga is the tale of Kinu, a young man, a young Sikh boy, who loses everything during partition and has to come across from Sargodha to what is now India, and settle down in Amritsar. And as he lies on his deathbed at 95, played by Naseeruddin Shah, he remembers what he lost. He remembers his homeland, he remembers the women he had to leave behind, and he remembers in particular one woman, a girl, a young woman whom he loved dearly and had to leave. This is a universal story. I mean, it could be the story of partition, it could be the story of Gaza, it could be the story of Ukraine, it could be the story of Kashmir. So many people lose their home and want to return, and even if they do, it's never what it was. And that's what Imtiaz Ali celebrates. But he doesn't lose hope while doing that. When people lose everything, they still ought to retain their humanity. And that's what Main Wapas Aunga is all about. That when everything else fails, beauty and love and kindness remain. And the young Kinu's motto, and as he grows old, it becomes harder and harder, is don't look back. The world has ended and it will never be the same again. But as he's coming to the end of his life, he realizes that there was more to life than just hard work, rebuilding his life and his family's life in a new world, losing perhaps some of the softness that was in his heart, coming to this new world and becoming a success, but in a way losing everything. At his deathbed, that is something that he wants to go back to, that innocence, that purity, that beauty. In a way, it really is all of us, and I think that's why at the end of the film, I was so surprised to see my cheeks wet with tears. And I think that was true of several people that I was surrounded by in the hall as well. Yes, it is dark, but it is a movie that also celebrates beauty and poetry, some remarkable lyrics by Irshad Kamil, terrific music by A.R. Rahman, one of his best in a long time, and such new voices that one got to hear in the songs. There was such freshness in it. Terrific performances by Diljit Dosanjh, who plays Kinu, Naseeruddin Shah's grandson, who's the only person who can actually decipher what this old man who's suffering from dementia is trying to say. As he reconstructs what Kinu is trying to say, he's also uncovering for himself the story of partition. Some of it may seem like history 101 to people who know all about it, but perhaps this movie is not necessarily for everyone who knows everything about the partition. It's also for young people who may not know the full truth and the full trauma of what was visited upon their grandparents and great-grandparents. And there is a lovely line in the film that's uttered by Vinod Nagpal, one of our finest theatre actors from Delhi. And he says that when he's asked why doesn't he speak about partition, why doesn't he speak about all the traumas that were inflicted on either side, he says, if we had done that, the only lesson that is us, would have learned is of hatred and communal disturbance and communal enmity, and that's not what we wanted. So we will die with the poison inside us. We do know, of course, that the poison didn't remain with them. It is outside and it is everywhere. But at such a time, to also have a movie that celebrates so much that is good about us is lovely. Also, small things like I've not seen a bookstore in a movie for a long time. I've not seen a museum in a movie for a long time, in a Hindi movie. So to have Bari Sons and the Partition Museum being featured in the film was also lovely. All the good things in life, really, that we should celebrate and we should preserve. And I think this is what the movie is trying to say as well. What do we have when everything else fails? Memories, yes, but also memories of what? And do we keep the good? Do we keep the bad? And if there is bad in our lives, what do we do about it? The movie is beautifully shot. It's non-linear, keeps going back and forth. It has Diljit Dosanjh, who is the usual Imtiaz Ali character, running away from commitment, looking for that grand love that will sort of ignite his life. He has a girlfriend played by Vanita Sandhu who's forever on the phone with him. And lots of wonderful, it's a great ensemble cast with really, small performances, but sparkling performances by people like Rajat Kapoor and Anjana Sukhani, who's quite a revelation. But the movie belongs, I think, to Imtiaz Ali, of course, Naseeruddin Shah, Vedang Raina and Sharwari, who are the young lovers caught in a turbulent time, and Diljit, who's quite something in the film. It's a lovely film. Please don't miss it. Give it time and let it grow on you, and listen to the music. There's a lot to learn from there. The second film, in a way, is also talking about home and going home to find your true self and to find to get to the bottom of everything. Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, beautifully shot again in 35mm. You can almost feel the film grain. It's so lovely. A terrific ensemble cast again. There's Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, who's outstanding, Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, who just seems to be everywhere these days. It is a conspiracy theory, and you can almost see Spielberg laughing at us and enjoying this little joke that he's playing on us, that the US government had really shut down a lot of these mysterious crashes that one heard about from Roswell to Pittsburgh, and shut them down as just mysterious crashes, but they were actually landings by aliens. And I know it almost sounds like an Oliver Stone movie, but there is so much joy in the way he celebrates this. Again, going back to childhood, reminds you of his other wonderful movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. And Wars of the World. But this seems far more, shall I say, grounded and almost believable. The found footage that he uses and shows in black and white looks pretty real. And the two protagonists, that's a meteorologist played by Emily Blunt, who suddenly starts speaking in this strange tongue, which indicates to powers that be that she has been visited by these aliens, and a scientist played by Josh O'Connor, who's also discovered the truth behind these strange sightings. These two become the keys to the story and are hunted down by this organization led by Colin Firth. And there's some terrific images of aliens in the garb of animals, and when you see their eyes and the way they shoot the eyes, turning the animals into aliens, is you see a bit of it in the trailer as well. It's quite shocking, but also very stunning. And the movie ends with just one word: listen. As Emily Blunt tells us what the story behind the actual sightings is. And it's called Disclosure Day because that is when the truth is disclosed. And really, listen is what we ought to do. Perhaps not just about aliens, but perhaps a metaphor for something else, a metaphor for the strangeness that has struck the world these days, the seeming alien sentiment that has got hold of everyone, the rage in everyone, the killings and the murders and the wars. And I think that is what the larger message of the film is. But it's Spielberg, so it's also fun. Lots of chases and lots of conspiracy theories, as I said. So enjoy yourself this weekend. You have a pact, you'll have to choose which one to watch first, but I do urge you to watch Wapas Aunga by Imtiaz Ali and Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg. Have fun at the movies.